The sound of shattering glass jolted Kevin Hayes awake, his hand immediately reaching for the baseball bat he kept beside his bed. At 32, Kevin had learned to sleep with one ear open, a habit formed from years of living in one of the rougher neighborhoods of East Brooklyn while raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. He glanced at the digital clock, 2:17 a.m. Another crash echoed from somewhere outside his apartment building, followed by a woman's frightened voice. "Leave me alone. I've called the police." Kevin pulled on his jeans and grabbed his bat. He glanced at Lily's bedroom door, still closed, still quiet. Mrs. Rodriguez from next door would hear if Lily called out. He unlocked his apartment door and moved quickly down the dimly lit hallway toward the building's entrance. Outside, the cool autumn air bit at his skin. Under the sickly yellow glow of the street lamp, he saw her, a woman in a tailored coat, backing away from a man who was advancing on her. Her car, an expensive-looking black sedan, had a shattered windshield. "I said stay back." The woman's voice was commanding despite her obvious fear. "You can't just ignore me, Sophia. We're meant to be together." The man lunged forward, grabbing her wrist. Kevin didn't hesitate. "Hey," he shouted, stepping into the light, bat raised. "The lady said to leave her alone." The man turned, his eyes wild and unfocused. "This doesn't concern you," he snarled. "Go back inside." Kevin positioned himself between the man and the woman. "I'm not going anywhere, and if the police really are coming, you might want to reconsider your options here." The stalker Kevin was sure that's what he was, seemed to calculate his chances. After a tense moment, he spat on the ground. "This isn't over, Sophia. You know it isn't." Then he backed away and disappeared into the shadows between buildings. Kevin turned to the woman Sophia, who was clutching her purse to her chest, her breathing ragged. She was beautiful, with dark hair pulled back into a now messy bun, her features sharp but elegant. He guessed she was around his age, maybe a year or two older. "Are you okay? Did he hurt you?" Kevin asked, lowering the bat. "I'm fine." She straightened her posture, regaining her composure remarkably fast. "Thank you, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't." She trailed off, looking at her car. "Damn it, he's escalating. The police really coming?" She shook her head. "No, I was bluffing. My phone's dead." Kevin offered his. "You should call them. That guy seems dangerous." "He is." She took the phone gratefully. "He's been following me for months. I have restraining orders, security, but Richard always finds a way." She dialed and turned slightly away as she reported the incident. When she finished, she handed the phone back. "Thank you, Mr. Hayes, Kevin Hayes." He tucked the phone into his pocket. "And it's just Kevin. Sophia Trent." She extended her hand, which Kevin shook. Her grip was firm, confident. "I can't thank you enough, Kevin. Would you mind waiting with me until my security team arrives? I don't think Richard will come back, but—" "Of course." Kevin gestured toward the building entrance. "We can wait inside the lobby. It's warmer." In the harsh fluorescent light of the run-down lobby, Kevin became acutely aware of how out of place Sophia looked. Her coat alone probably cost more than his monthly rent. Her watch gleamed on her wrist, definitely not costume jewelry. "So, do you live here?" she asked, breaking the awkward silence. "Apartment 403, with my daughter, Lily." Sophia's expression softened. "How old is she?" 8. "She's sleeping, thankfully. My neighbor will check on her if she wakes up." Kevin shifted the bat from one hand to the other. "What about you? What brings you to this neighborhood at this hour?" "I was visiting an old friend a few blocks over," she sighed. "Richard must have followed me, again." She looked at Kevin with newfound curiosity. "You didn't hesitate. Most people would have stayed inside." Kevin shrugged. "I heard someone in trouble, that's all." "That's not all, and we both know it." Her phone buzzed. She checked it and nodded. "My security is here. Would you walk me out?" Outside, a black SUV had pulled up beside her damaged car. Two men in suits stepped out, scanning the area professionally. "Miss Trent," the taller one said, opening the rear door of the SUV. "Are you all right?" "Thanks to Mr. Hayes here," she said. She turned to Kevin. "I owe you. Is there anything I can do to repay you?" Kevin shook his head. "Just glad I could help. Be safe, Miss Trent." She studied him for a moment, then reached into her purse and pulled out a business card. "Please call me. I mean it about repaying the favor." Kevin took the card, noticing the embossed logo of Trent Innovations, one of the largest tech companies in the country. He looked up at her with new understanding. You're that Sophia Trent, she gave a small smile. I'm just Sophia tonight. Thank you again, Kevin Hayes. As the SUV pulled away, Kevin stood in the chilly night air, turning the business card over in his hands. CEO, it said under her name. He tucked it into his pocket and headed back upstairs, wondering if he'd ever hear from her again. The next morning, Kevin was pouring cereal for Lily when someone knocked on their door. He checked the peephole to see a man in a suit, one of the security guards from last night, Mr. Hayes. The man said when Kevin opened the door, "Miss Trent sent me to check on you and deliver this." He handed Kevin an envelope. "Daddy, who is it?" Lily called from the kitchen table, her voice curious. "Just a minute, honey." Kevin opened the envelope to find a note and a check. The amount made his eyes widen. "Please accept this as a token of my gratitude," the note read in elegant handwriting. "I would also like to invite you and your daughter to dinner at Lucille this Friday at 7 p.m. A car will pick you up at 6:30 if you accept. Sophia, Miss Trent is very insistent on properly thanking you," the security guard said. Kevin stared at the check. $10,000 would cover months of rent, help with Lily's school supplies, maybe even start a college fund. "Tell Miss Trent I appreciate the gesture, but I can't accept this." He handed the check back. As for dinner, he thought about Lily, who rarely got to enjoy nice restaurants. "Tell her we accept." After the guard left, Kevin returned to the kitchen where Lily was munching on cereal, her legs swinging under the chair. "Who was that, Daddy?" "Someone with an invitation. How would you like to go to a fancy dinner on Friday?" Lily's eyes lit up. "Like in the movies, with lots of forks," Kevin laughed. "Exactly like that, but you have to be on your best behavior." "I promise." She gave him a milk-mustached grin. Friday came quickly. Kevin had spent the week picking up extra handyman jobs around the neighborhood to afford a nice shirt for himself and a pretty dress for Lily. When the sleek black car arrived at their building, Lily could barely contain her excitement. "Is it a princess sending us the car, Daddy?" she asked, clutching her small purse. "Not a princess, but a very important businesswoman," Kevin explained as they settled into the car's plush seats. Lucille was one of those restaurants Kevin had only ever walked past, glancing at the menu posted outside and whistling at the prices. The maitre d' escorted them to a private dining room where Sophia was waiting. She stood as they entered, and Kevin was struck again by how beautiful she was. Tonight, her hair fell in soft waves around her shoulders, and she wore a simple but obviously expensive black dress. "Kevin, thank you for coming," she said warmly, then looked down at Lily with a genuine smile. "And you must be Lily, I'm Sophia." Lily, suddenly shy, half hid behind Kevin's leg. "Hello," she said quietly. "I love your dress," Sophia told her. "Purple is my favorite color too." That was all it took. Lily stepped forward, her shyness forgotten. "Do you like unicorns? They like purple too." Dinner was surprisingly relaxed. Sophia had ordered a special menu that included kid-friendly options alongside the gourmet fare. She was patient with Lily's endless questions and seemed genuinely interested in Kevin's life. "So you work as a maintenance supervisor at an apartment complex, but you're also a handyman on the side?" she asked. Kevin nodded. "The regular job keeps the health insurance, but the side gigs help make ends meet." And Lily's mother, she left when Lily was 2, decided parenthood wasn't for her. Kevin kept his tone neutral. He'd long ago worked through the anger. "It's been just us ever since." "That can't be easy." "We manage," he changed the subject. "What about you? The papers make you sound like some kind of business prodigy." Sophia laughed. "Hardly. I inherited my father's company when he died 5 years ago. I've just managed not to run it into the ground. In fact, I've expanded it." "Modesty doesn't suit you," Kevin said with a smile. "I Googled you. Trent Innovations has tripled in value under your leadership. You did your homework. Wanted to know who was buying us dinner." As the evening progressed, Kevin found himself increasingly drawn to Sophia. She listened intently when he spoke, laughed easily, and treated Lily with genuine warmth. There was an intelligence in her eyes that challenged him, made him want to impress her, something he hadn't felt in years. When dessert arrived, a chocolate confection that made Lily gasp with delight, Sophia turned serious. "I wanted to thank you properly, Kevin, but I also wanted to warn you. Richard Blackwell, the man from the other night, is dangerous. He's been stalking me for almost a year." We dated briefly, and when I ended it, he became obsessed. Have the police been any help? Limited. He's smart, well-connected. His family has money. She looked down at her hands. The restraining order doesn't seem to deter him. He's careful about when and where he approaches me. That's why you have security, she nodded. But they can't be everywhere. The night you helped me, I'd slipped away to visit an old friend without telling my team. Stupid of me. You shouldn't have to live with bodyguards to feel safe, Kevin said, his jaw tightening. No, I shouldn't. She reached across the table and briefly touched his hand. Just be careful. He saw you help me. People like Richard don't like interference. The warning sent a chill through Kevin, but he pushed it aside. We'll be fine. We're not exactly in the same social circles. Still, I've taken the liberty of having security keep an eye on your building for the next few weeks, just in case. Kevin wanted to object. He'd been taking care of himself and Lily for years, but the genuine concern in Sophia's eyes stopped him. Thank you, that's thoughtful. When the evening ended, Sophia surprised them by accompanying them home in the car. I wanted to see you safely inside, she explained, and I have something for Lily. Outside their apartment building, Sophia handed Lily a wrapped package. A little thank you for sharing your dad with me tonight. Lily tore open the paper to reveal a beautiful illustrated book of fairy tales. Wow, thank you, she exclaimed, hugging it to her chest. You're very welcome. Sophia looked at Kevin. I had a lovely evening. So did we. He hesitated. Maybe we could do it again sometime. Her smile brightened her entire face. I'd like that very much. Over the next month, Sophia became a regular part of their lives. She joined them for pizza and movie nights at their apartment, brought Lily to the Central Park Zoo, and invited Kevin for coffee when Lily was at school. Each time they met, the connection between them deepened. Kevin learned that, beneath her polished exterior, Sophia was funny, sometimes insecure, and fiercely loyal to the few people she truly trusted. She confided that most men she met were after her money or intimidated by her success, which made dating nearly impossible. But you're different, she told him one evening as they walked through the park after dropping Lily at a friend's birthday party. You see me, not my bank account. Well, your bank account is pretty impressive, he teased, taking her hand in his. But I prefer the woman who gets chocolate ice cream on her nose and quotes Star Wars movies from memory. She laughed and leaned into him. I knew you were special that first night, standing there with your baseball bat like some neighborhood guardian angel. Their first kiss happened that evening, under the park's twinkling lights. It was gentle at first, then filled with a longing that surprised them both. When they pulled apart, Kevin knew he was falling in love with her, but the shadow of Richard Blackwell still loomed. Twice, Sophia's security team had spotted him watching Kevin's apartment building. Then came the threatening note slipped under Kevin's door. Stay away from her, she belongs to me. Kevin didn't tell Sophia about the note, not wanting to worry her. Instead, he installed better locks and kept the baseball bat closer at hand. He also began walking Lily to and from school himself, unwilling to take any chances with her safety. The situation escalated one Tuesday afternoon. Kevin was picking Lily up from school when he noticed a car parked across the street, its driver watching them intently. He recognized Richard immediately. Lily, honey, we're going to walk a different way home today, Kevin said calmly, taking her hand and leading her in the opposite direction. But why, Daddy? This is longer. I thought we could stop for ice cream, he improvised, pulling out his phone to text Sophia's head of security. They had barely turned the corner when Richard's car pulled up beside them. Hayes, Richard called out, his voice deceptively friendly. Just want to talk to you for a minute. Kevin pushed Lily behind him. I've got nothing to say to you, and you're violating your restraining order just being near me. Richard's smile vanished. That bitch has you fooled too, doesn't she? You think she cares about you, about your kid. He laughed, a brittle sound. You're just her latest charity case. Trust me, I know how she operates. Daddy, Lily's voice trembled. It's okay, sweetheart. Kevin kept his eyes on Richard. We're leaving now, don't follow us. Richard's face contorted with rage. She's mine. She always has been. You're nothing but a distraction. His hand moved toward his jacket pocket. Kevin's heart pounded. Did he have a weapon? He couldn't risk Lily's safety. Run to the store, Lily. Right now, Kevin ordered, pushing her toward the bodega on the corner. She hesitated for only a second before dashing away. As she ran, a black SUV screeched around the corner. Richard cursed and sped away just as Sophia's security team pulled up. Kevin sagged with relief, then ran to find Lily, who was being watched over by the concerned bodega owner. That evening, after putting a still-shaken Lily to bed, Kevin called Sophia. He approached you. Her voice was tight with fear and anger. "Kevin, I'm so sorry. This is exactly what I was afraid of. It's not your fault, but Lily was there, Sophia, if he'd had a weapon." "I know," she paused. "Maybe we should take a step back until the police catch him." The thought of not seeing her made Kevin's chest ache. "No, that's what he wants. I'm not letting him win." "But Lily adores you, and he took a deep breath. "I'm falling in love with you, Sophia. I'm not walking away because some psychopath can't accept rejection." There was silence on the other end, and for a moment, Kevin feared he'd said too much, too soon. Then Sophia's voice, soft and emotional. "I love you too, Kevin. I think I have since that first night." They agreed to meet the next day at Sophia's penthouse to discuss what to do about Richard. When Kevin arrived, he was struck again by the contrast between their lives. Her home occupied an entire floor of a luxury building with views of the city that took his breath away. But it was Sophia herself who captivated him, dressed casually in jeans and a simple blouse, her hair in a ponytail, looking both vulnerable and strong as she greeted him with a kiss. "I've been thinking about our options," she said, leading him to a living room larger than his entire apartment. "My security team can protect us, but they can't be everywhere, and the police need more evidence to arrest Richard." "So we give them evidence," Kevin said. "Set a trap." Sophia's eyes widened. "What do you mean? He's fixated on you, on the idea that you belong to him. What if we use that? Make him think you're leaving town alone, somewhere remote where he could approach you without witnesses." "But I wouldn't actually be alone," Sophia said slowly, understanding his plan. "The police would be waiting." "Exactly. My buddy from high school is a detective now. I already spoke to him this morning. He thinks it could work." Sophia paced the room. "It's risky. So is doing nothing. He's escalating, Sophia. Next time he might not just talk." After hours of discussion and planning with Detective Torres, they had a strategy. Sophia would publicly book a weekend at her remote upstate cabin, letting the information leak through her assistant, whom they suspected Richard had been bribing for information. Kevin and a police team would be waiting at the cabin when Richard inevitably followed her. The weekend arrived and everything was in place. Sophia drove to the cabin in her own car, trailed discreetly by an unmarked police vehicle. Kevin, Detective Torres, and 2 other officers were already hidden inside and around the property. "He'll come," Detective Torres assured them. Men like this can't help themselves when they think their obsession is within reach. As dusk fell, Sophia moved around the cabin, making herself visible through the windows. Kevin watched her from his hiding place in the bedroom, his heart pounding with both fear and admiration for her courage. "You okay?" he asked softly when she came into the room to check on him. She nodded, though her hands trembled slightly. "Just ready for this to be over, to not have to look over my shoulder anymore." He pulled her close, breathing in the scent of her hair. "Soon, I promise." The sound of tires on gravel alerted them. Sophia squeezed Kevin's hand once, then moved back to the main room as planned. Through the cracked door, Kevin watched as she pretended to prepare tea, her posture tense. The cabin door burst open. Richard stood there, a manic smile on his face. "Surprised to see me, darling?" he asked, stepping inside. "You didn't think I'd let you run off without saying goodbye, did you?" Sophia backed away. "How did you find me? Never mind. You need to leave, Richard. Now, leave," he laughed. "We're finally alone." No security, no poverty-stricken hero with his baseball bat. He moved closer. "It's time you remembered what we had. We had nothing," Sophia said firmly. "You were a mistake I made once and have regretted ever since." Richard's face twisted with rage. "A mistake, is that what I am to you?" He reached into his jacket and pulled out a gun. "Maybe I should make sure no one else has you either." That was the signal. Kevin burst from the bedroom as Detective Torres and his officers crashed through the front door, all shouting for Richard to drop his weapon. Richard spun wildly, the gun waving between Sophia and the officers. For one terrifying moment, Kevin thought he would shoot her out of spite. Instead, Richard turned the gun toward Kevin. "You," he snarled. "This is your fault." Everything happened in slow motion. Kevin saw Richard's finger tighten on the trigger. He lunged forward, desperate to knock the gun away. There was a deafening bang, a searing pain in his shoulder, and then officers were tackling Richard to the ground. "Kevin!" Sophia's scream seemed to come from far away. Then she was kneeling beside him, pressing something against his bleeding shoulder. "Stay with me, please stay with me." "Is he?" Kevin managed to ask. "They've got him. He can't hurt us anymore." Tears streamed down her face. "The ambulance is coming. You're going to be okay, Lily. I'll take care of her, I promise. Just stay awake, Kevin. I love you. I love you so much." Those were the last words he heard before darkness claimed him. Kevin woke to the steady beep of hospital monitors and the sensation of someone holding his hand. He blinked, his vision clearing to reveal Sophia asleep in a chair beside his bed, her fingers intertwined with his. "Hey," he said hoarsely. She jolted awake. "Kevin, thank God." She leaned forward to kiss him gently. "How do you feel?" "Like I've been shot," he joked weakly. "Lily." "She's fine. She's with Mrs. Rodriguez. I've been checking on her, bringing her to visit you." Sophia stroked his face. "The doctors say you'll make a full recovery. The bullet went through clean, and Richard, in custody. No bail. He's facing attempted murder charges, among other things." She squeezed his hand. "It's over. We're safe now." 3 days later, Kevin was released from the hospital. To his surprise, Sophia brought him not to his apartment, but to her penthouse. "I hope you don't mind," she said as they entered. "I thought you'd be more comfortable here while you recover. And I have a surprise." "Daddy." Lily came running from another room, carefully hugging him around his uninjured side. "Look at my new room. It has a canopy bed like a princess." Kevin looked questioningly at Sophia. "I thought you both might want to stay for a while," she explained. "Or longer if you want." That night, after Lily was asleep in her new room, Kevin and Sophia sat on her balcony overlooking the city lights. "I've been thinking," she said, curling against his good side. "Life's too short to waste time. These past weeks with you and Lily have been the happiest of my life." "Even with the crazed stalker and hospital visit?" Kevin asked lightly. She smiled. "Even with that, you saw me as just Sophia, not the CEO, not the heiress. You protected me when I needed it most, but you also let me be strong when I needed that too." She took a deep breath. "What I'm trying to say is, I want you and Lily in my life, permanently." Kevin looked into her eyes. "Are you proposing to me, Sophia Trent?" "Maybe I am," she said, a mixture of vulnerability and determination in her expression. "What would you say if I were?" He leaned forward to kiss her softly. "I'd say that I love you, that you make me happier than I ever thought possible, and that Lily would be thrilled to have you as her stepmom." "Is that a yes?" "It's a definite yes." 6 months later, they married in a small ceremony with only their closest friends and family present. Lily, serving as flower girl, beamed with pride as she watched her father and new stepmother exchange vows. "Are you happy, Daddy?" she asked at the reception, sitting between Kevin and Sophia. "Happier than I've ever been, Pumpkin," he replied, looking at his new wife with love. "What about you?" "Super happy," she grinned, showing a missing front tooth. "Sophia says we can get a puppy for our new house. And maybe a baby brother or sister someday." Kevin raised an eyebrow at Sophia, who smiled mysteriously. "Maybe sooner than you think," she whispered to him. "I was going to tell you tonight." Joy surged through him. "Really?" she nodded, her eyes shining. "Really?" Later that evening, as they danced under the stars, Kevin reflected on how much his life had changed in less than a year. From a struggling single dad to a man with a beautiful family and a future brighter than he'd ever dared to dream. "What are you thinking?" Sophia asked, her head resting against his chest. "That I'm the luckiest man alive," he answered honestly, "and that sometimes the most unexpected moments lead to the greatest happiness." She looked up at him, love evident in every feature. "Like a poor dad with a baseball bat protecting a woman from her stalker." "Exactly like that." He kissed her tenderly. "I'd do it all again in a heartbeat. Even getting shot," she teased. "Even that, you're worth it, Sophia Hayes, you always will be." As the night wrapped around them like a blanket of stars, Kevin held his wife close, grateful for the twist of fate that had brought them together and the courage they'd both found to fight for their happiness. In each other's arms, they had found not just safety, but a love that would sustain them through whatever life brought next, a love born of protection, strengthened by adversity, and destined to last a lifetime.